Fellas, what's going on?
Chilling.
What up, dog? What's going
Back
down?
for another one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's good, G.
How's everybody's week?
See, it's gonna get redundant. Me saying my week is the same every week. Work, gym, sleep.
Rehearsals, work, gym, and sleep. And be in the dog bed.
Work, gym, fragrance.
You the busy one.
Yeah,
For real.
It's a busy life, so I mean, just a little bit of background. Finally got the product in. Finally got the fragrances in. So more lit.
It's officially
underway. Yeah, man. So it was good. 1 year journey. Finally come full circle. It's crazy. We're in the month of June.
It's the first time I've seen it, isn't it?
Yes, man. So we got that's Drive in front of you. We're starting off with 3 projects. We got Drive. We got Ambition.
You got Drive, Ambition.
And there's a little secret right there on the table.
There's a little secret on the table.
Let me show the camera this.
Yeah, that looked nice though too at the same time.
Yes, indeed. So
There's one you get. Oh, it's this one.
Yeah, that's your scent Drive.
That was that coconut little scent hint that came out like fresh stuff. So that's what's up.
So you're gonna be launching in the next week. Just finish up a couple paperwork things, but I mean, it's definitely one of those things that inspired kind of this week's episode conversation of just kind of seeing the journey through and understanding how life changes you, how the journey changes you. But I mean, nonetheless, for us to be at this moment and to be at this juncture is a crazy experience, Shoot, let's get it. Hey, Foresight season 3. Let's get it.
It's just different.
Hopeless at one point, and they have an opportunity to make you go harder, make you get in that booth and just really express that hopelessness. Like, man, y'all don't understand. This is like, you know what I mean? You dig from a different place. That bottom of your soul, that pit, homie, where you felt like the shit was, you know what I'm saying? You always wanted, but it looked like it was just not gonna happen.
Shit, in your mind it ain't gonna happen, shit, it probably won't. I took some risks, some people probably won't. That's how we're grateful for the fruits of all my labor. Hard to live and know you sick, I'd rather be with my creator, think the time.
Welcome back to another episode of Foresight Podcast. This is your host, Mike Obi.
And it's your boy London Ogletree back for some more gems.
This is Trey. What up, y'all?
Alright, what's good? What's good,
What's
man?
up, bro? Good.
What's up with y'all, man?
Man, it's hot. Honestly, that's why a lot of my thoughts is coming a little slow. I'm catching up to this heat. This Houston heat is.
Yeah, we in the thick of summertime, man. It's feeling like Texas heat. For those of y'all who aren't from the state of Texas, just imagine the heat that just leans on you.
And then imagine the people driving in this motherfucking heat too. Oof.
It's disgusting.
Just stepping outside. We stepped outside the car when we came here, and I was just like, damn, it's hot out here. I've been trying to work out and get back in shape to like be coherent in that heat. I said it's just a whole different heat. I said we could have kept the winter time.
Straight up. Well, this episode I think is going to be a good one, just for all the fellas and even for the ladies listening. Just in terms of being able to keep life in perspective. I was out, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm an internal thinker, as y'all both know, and I'm like, man, this would be the perfect time to write the script. And so where I started off is I was out, and me and the homies, we was out clubbing, bar hopping and things of that nature. And one of the things that kind of dawned on me is just like I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I could be at home working on projects. We got the fragrances, we got the podcast, I host another one, and then I also do my teaching job, which while we're in summer, I still got to do professional developments. And it's kind of the thing I was thinking about is, man, I could be out leveling up, making my life better for myself instead of being out. While it's good to kind of take a break, and people always are talking about, man, you gotta take a vacation, you gotta take a break, you gotta stop, you gotta relax. I'm like, I don't got time to relax. We gotta get to this money. So just on that alone, what is y'all's take on just sort of this new age of trying to manage, work-life balance as they call it, but still trying to be someone who's trying to hustle and trying to make a better life for yourself?
Honestly, I think we got soft. Honestly, because I only know people from me growing up. I wouldn't say all my peers, but I would say like my uncles or my pops or things like, or their friends or something like that, or my mama or whatever. They had a different way of hustling that I kind of miss that people have. So like how you're doing your business and how you're working, being a teacher, and how you're doing things with the podcast is like, and you still feel like you can put more on your plate. So like for me, that just I think a lot of people take the easy way out and be like, well, I'm making this somehow, and I'm one of I make a great living, and I'm like, okay, I can stay content on this, but at the same time, it's like you can do some more just so you can keep adding to your revenue, because the whole goal is to make money. Yeah. So it's like if you're doing it to just have money so you can live a great life how you want to live it, you have to go this hard. You have to put your dollars and invest into your own company. You have to sit there and network with people, and also still you might have to work in the beginning of it until you have like this blew up, and then the podcast that goes over, then you say, oh, those are monetized now, I don't got to teach no more. So I think people just now like, well, I'm just gonna put it all into the fragrance and the podcast, and if that nothing's coming in from it, we're gonna just figure it out after that. We are still in the mindset of this old school, like, okay, we're gonna still hustle the work way and then do other things on the other side as well. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Right. I mean, each I could say the same aspect, because like, you know, being a man who's also with Mola as well, and then also I'm doing acting, modeling, and then also doing fitness here and there, and trying to incorporate that within my lifestyle. It's like, you know, it's taking up a lot of time for sure. Like taking out time for myself, I can barely even want to cook like a whole good full course meal for my damn self. Like a lot of times I have to cook like meal preps and stuff. So really, it's so much. It's a lot to handle, but it's really doable, and it's a whole lot better instead of you just being like taking the easy way out and just straight working and not doing a damn thing. It's best to incorporate some type of hobby, some type of like, you know, drive. You wanna drive yourself to be better in this aspect. So create something, or like, you know, become a part of a team that actually wants to create something and actually do something with their lives. That's why I say it's good.
No, you brought up a great point right there. You talk about every project that I've kind of launched, especially now being at them for a few years. You know, for Inside, I started in 2020, and I started off with my boy Nick, and then I was by myself, and then I found a London who was into podcasting, and he was trying to get into it. I brought him on. He's been a natural at it, but he was trying to learn. I was like, look, I've been doing this, and this is the way you work together with people to say, okay, this is my skill, and then you help me your skill. Right. London's really good at talking and speaking his mind, which is what I was trying to get better at. So then we have that. Then with the fragrance with Molet, I bring in Trey. Trey was the guy who was trying to get into fragrance. And okay, I could teach him about fragrances. Trey was very good at modeling, public speaking, and interacting, being an extrovert. So I think what you just brought up is you have to put yourself out there in terms of being able to network with people and being able to say, look, I can bring you this value. And then in turn, you can kind of have a reciprocated relationship, a mutual relationship where you're working together. Because, you know, so much of what I hear about society now is, oh, everything's a competition. You got to step on the next person in order for you to get yours. Well, I feel like we're embodying, especially as black men, like, nah, we can work together. We all can eat. And it's better if we eat together, because there's just no way I can know everything. There's no way Leonard can know everything. There's no way Trey can know everything. But if we pull our minds together, we can all make each other better, and we all level up from that.
No, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's easier said than done with that one, but that is the truth, though. There's too much money out here to be.
Now,
it's like it's someone like almost like what Steve Harvey says at the same time. Like, you can be rich. The only thing that's stopping you is just yourself at the same time. Like, ain't nobody out there stopping you. You can say all you want to everybody, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you and what you do.
One thing I'm thinking about is, like, you know, we talk about us, we guys, we're all hustling. You know, London brought up being old school, and like, as an old school kind of man, you know, it's all about keeping your head down and working and grinding. I can hear and I can kind of envision some people being like, that's no way to live. Or what kind of life is that, where you all work and no play, or you don't really ever stop as much. I know I fell victim to that, where people are like, bro, you don't stop like to ever just do what you want to do. You don't want to take no vacations. I'm like, man, look, until I feel like it's time for that, I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? Now, it raises the question, though, what in y'all's mind constitutes a good life for a man? What constitutes a life where a guy can look back, or maybe even in the present moment, and say, man, I'm actually doing well, I'm actually living a good life? What would that look like to y'all, or how does that look like to y'all?
Go
ahead, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Well, I want to ask the question: do you have a roof over your head? Are you actually providing for yourself? And are you are you being a good, let's say, partner, or just being good to yourself? Then you are having a good life. If all them answers come out to be yes, then that's no issue at the same time. Now it becomes an issue if you are mentally not there, and you're mentally not there for anybody else, and it becomes an issue if you're struggling to actually, let's say, pay for anything. If you're struggling to actually find time to do this stuff, then that's when it becomes an issue. You're not having a good life. Really, my good life is just being, at the same time, being grateful for what you have, and also being pretty much trying to actually do something with your life instead of sitting your ass around.
Literally. I think it's situational, to be honest with you. I like the lifestyle you saying, just you have a house, you can pay for all your bills, you're not homeless, so that's a start. And somebody actually told me this 2 days ago. It was like, well, you don't ever want to ever go travel. I'm like, right now, as a man, and that's my role, I think. Not that my girl don't pick up her half, but my role in my head is to build a family now, and then eventually you're going to have kids, you're going to have this. But for me, it's let me stack as much as I can right now. So when that real payments of things come, I'm ready. I can have fun still, but I only think I need 3 trips a year max. I don't need 10 to 12 places to go. I'm not about to just keep going. And plus I'm an introvert, so if I go somewhere, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna be bipolar. I'm I don't want to be here. And then I'm gonna be like, why am I even here? So when I went to Vegas, I think in November, I didn't go to one club, and I was just gambling. I was just eating. I was just sightseeing.
That would be me.
I don't really care to go to clubs no more. I went last week to camp, and I was just drunk. We had Casamigos, and I was just messed up. And I was like, this is not even.
And then
what it is no more.
And also, I want to go back to say, you say I'm an extrovert at the same time, but I have many times when I'm an introvert. I'm like, man, let me go ahead and just stay my butt inside. I ain't got time for none of this. I feel tired, even though I be awake. We'll talk to this person, but I'm like, nah. I was like, y'all see want to go out here? Nah, we can just chill and do this instead. We ain't gotta do all this stuff. It's annoying, bro. And then. I want to ask you a question. You said three times out the year. Would you say 3 times out the year for a week, or 3 times out the year for like small trips, a few days?
It could be a few. That's a good one.
Yeah.
My stuff can be days. My stuff can be 3-4 days, and I can get it out of my system quick. Yeah. So I'm going to Michigan for 4th of July to go to a family reunion. I'm counting that as a vacation. Yeah. Just so I'm not at work. Yeah. I'm not stressed about nothing, and I'm just in my own mind thinking into my city where I don't think it's as materialistic as Houston. Now I can just go back and I can just breathe. To me, that's one vacation. Then I'm probably going to go to a bachelorette vacation, and I'm like, that's coming up, but then maybe one more with me and Bay, and I'm good for the year. Nowhere.
Let's see, for me, last time I took an actual vacation from work where I'm taking time off. It was my boy's wedding and my buddy's wedding. This is in 2021, right? And it was one of those things. I spent a lot of time in my hotel room. If it wasn't some type of marriage activity, I wasn't hanging with him. I'm just in the hotel and I'm just chilling. I'm letting my battery recharge. I'm trying to unplug from that's my thing. I know is my
social battery.
My social battery runs out fast. That is bad as far as the battery life, just because I get tired of people really, really quickly, and I'm trying to be better at that, and I am getting better at it. But it's one of those things I'll be like, okay, we'll hit bombshells like we always talk about. I'll hit that for an hour and a half, and I'm done.
I'm going home. I'll be hungry. I'm like, damn, I want to eat something. And then we eat. I'm like, can we go?
Yeah, I'm done eating. I'm ready to check out. It don't really. I went to bombshells last weekend. Before Saturday, I went to camp. But I went to bombshells Friday. I ate my renegade pasta. I went there for that, and then I ate that food, and I was like, all my homeboys oh, they want to do this, I'm like, I don't really care.
I'm not the two activity type.
I don't really want to do all this, man. I
just kind of want to go.
I want to go home. I want to rub my feet, and I want to watch some Martin.
That sounds a great time to me,
Man.
Yeah, man. Like I'm not a 2 activity type person, let alone 3. But like a whole thing where it's like we just went through one thing. All right, we're gonna go here next. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, nah, y'all crazy.
yeah,
It's like,
I
nah.
got that, man. Have fun. And like the thing is, like for me, I'll play devil's advocate. Some people will say, man, y'all boring, y'all don't know how to live. I mean, I get it. We don't care, but it is a fair point.
They do know. People do.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like y'all not really living life. Y'all just existing and kind of floating out by. Like y'all not really taking life in. You're not sucking the moral out of it. You're not really experiencing things. So from that aspect, when people hit you with that, what do you say? I have my response, but I want to know what
Easy.
y'all.
I don't count nobody's pockets, but I'm like, I hope when shit hits the fan, you ready. Because my dad always taught me to save for a rainy day. Just because I got it in my account don't mean I got to spend it.
Yeah.
Some of these people want to spend it, this and this. I'm always just preparing. I'm already preparing for my kids' college. I don't even have kids. I could maybe not even have kids, but like I plan on having kids. But like for me, I'm already preparing for that. I'm preparing for my 401k. So I have all my stuff lined up where I'm like, let me just have my ducks in a row. So if I do have an anniversary, if I have something, I can say, now I can go drop 10, 12K on a trip to Hawaii. But okay, I could have took all these little Houston, Dallas, San Antonio trips. I don't want to go there no more. I've been there 100 million times. Y'all trying to go to the same spot every weekend. It's to the point that the bartender know you. It's the people, the owner know you. Go home. Like, that's my thing.
For me, it'd be just like, bro, my body's exhausted, bro. I ain't gotta do all this stuff no more. Like, bro, I did this stuff early already as a teen, and that I say it's bad, but at the same time it's good because like, look, I lived life. I saw a lot of stuff early in here time. I say it's bad, but it's really good because I ain't gotta do all this bullshit. But like later on, I ain't gotta waste my money, like you said, pretty much. I ain't gotta waste my time. I can just go straight home and just be like, all right, me gonna watch a video or something like that instead of me going out to do all this other stuff with other people, which we already done in the past. It's annoying. I'm tired of this. I'm like, bro, let me go ahead and go.
No, you brought up a great point right there. I think I would say I experienced all the club stuff at a young age. I experienced it at 21, 20, like, you know what I'm saying? We out getting sections. We experienced it at the highest level in terms of, I'm not in general population. Like, honestly, if people would hear me like, oh, we're going to be in general population, I'm like, nah, I ain't going.
Yeah, it's actually like
Section or nothing. And it costs more. I'm like, so like London's talking about, it costs more to do it that way, but that's the only way I know how, because it's easier, it's more efficient, right? And then in terms of you coming home late, you're out late, and the way the world is wired nowadays, especially we live in a big city like Houston, ain't nothing happening good at that time of the night. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like I done seen it, I done did it. Because I did it at a young age, I saw how easy it is in terms of running game and attracting women in terms of that game. Like, I was the youngster in the group, so I'm seeing everything. I'm like, oh, okay. The whole game is once you take care of yourself, once you got the money, you got the bag secured, like one is talking about. They come to you, and it's like that. All you gotta do is have a bottle, and boom. Next thing you know, you got all the one that you want, you know, at your disposal. Now you gotta capitalize on the deal. You know, it's still not easy by any stretch, but it's way more efficient when you do it that way. So my thing is, okay, even if I want to go back and do that, I want to do it whenever I'm ready and whenever I feel like the ball's in my court, I got all the control. So that's why I'm like, man, I'm focused on getting the money, building a legacy, and all that other stuff. The rest of that stuff will come later. It's time for work, time for grind, which is now. You know, for me, like now that I got the vision, I'm trying to lock in on it. I'm trying to hone in on it, which is why I've been pouring all my efforts into the podcast, into the fragrance. Like creating this, and we'll go into this on another week. Creating that project took a lot of effort, a lot of brain power. Trey knows, London knows. Like there have been many nights where I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I'm done. But then they have to be like, hey, nah, keep going. So I mean, imagine that type of conflict you're dealing with, and like you got people like, hey, we want you to come out and blow money on this. I'm like, nah, I got to invest in getting this merch, getting this new product, getting these bottles, understanding this, setting up accounts. So it's a matter of just the priorities are aligned. This is really what I think they talk about when they say you got to have your priorities straight, you got to have your priorities in order. My priorities are building a legacy and making sure that I have a life ready for myself. And that takes me taking responsibility and taking accountability for the life that I want to live.
Literally, I think I have a question, but I think when people say it's boring, like you're boring, I'm like, honestly, I want to travel. I want to go overseas. I want to go do things like that. Like that's something I haven't done, so that would be fun for me, which is gonna cost more money to do that. But I don't find it fun no more to go to clubs and like, especially general population sitting on the damn floor. Like if I don't have a section, I'm not probably gonna go, because it's not that I'm trying to be bougie. It's because if I want to sit down, I can sit down freely. I can stand up freely. I don't have to worry about somebody in my grill. But like, man, if we spent $3,100 on the section at camp, I was like,
damn.
It's
why?
Like, do it, but damn,
it's
like,
not
what?
even worth doing it. Like that $3,000, and granted, I didn't pay for it, my homeboy did, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm glad you got it, but like that $3,000 can go towards your closing costs on a home. It can go through down payment on a car.
Give me that for rent, boy.
For rent, that's 2 months of rent.
That's 2 months of rent gone. I'm like, cool.
Like that is 2 months of rent, actually. Like that's 2 months of rent. So it's like you don't even. To me, I just don't see it. Then like you see the. Like, I guess we had fun, but it was only like a spark of it.
I saw like when remember that night and the same time I was like, I can't go to camp, dog.
You can't. It's not like it's cool when you. And a lot of people be tricking people because if you look at somebody's story, it look lit. Like you can, because you're catching the highlights of the night, which that doesn't explain the other 2 to 3 hours. It could have been whack. So it's like now it was, oh, I should have went out, when the person who was really sitting on the couch watching the movie and had something, like, he really was winning.
Yeah.
But my question is to both of y'all: do you think people only go out for each other's gender? So like women go out for men and men go out for women? Because like a lot of girls, I'm just going out with my girls. I don't believe that.
Okay, I think men go out for women, women go out for women. That's my answer.
Really? Okay, men go out for women for sure.
Men go out for women, women go out for women, and if men,
you think so?
Yeah, hell yeah. Look. Okay, I'll say it this way. Right? Men go out for women. Let's just put that on the front street. Men go out. Oh. If I know dudes, and I've fallen victim to when I was younger too. So I mean, we all are guilty of it. Where their night is dependent upon how many numbers did I get, how many Instagrams, how many this, how many that. Man. So everything is geared towards, man. If I don't get any numbers, if I don't talk to a woman,
it's a
L. You could have had fun with your boy, you could have had fun with the homies, but nah, I ain't. That girl rejected me, so now the whole night is a wash, right? Rather than women, I would say, would legitimately say, I will go out with my girlfriends, right? Go out, dance, right? And I'm going to still look good. We're going to look good. And then if a guy who I find attractive happens to pull up on us, then okay, we'll talk to him, and then that's what it is, right? But the first and foremost priority is girls. I'm here with my girls. I'm here to have fun with my girls. So that's why I say women really go out for women. Like, they go out with each other and to have a good time. And they know how to do it more righteously. Guys have to kind of figure that out and mature to that, you know, more frequently than not. Now, there are guys, and especially I think us three, once we get to this age where we realize, like, okay, first off, that whole club game really is whack. That's not the right way to go about it. Yeah. That's a L, honestly. And so then it's like, okay, now we legitimately can say, man, look, we're just trying to blow some steam off. We all had long weeks, man. We just gonna go out, even if it's us just chilling in a section, or even if it's us chilling at a bar, us chilling watching a game. Like, we trying to just hang out with the fellas and get out the house and break the monotony of life.
I think that's what old boys.
But that's all I be wanting to do.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine.
But I said that's why I think old boys spend that $3K, man. I was trying to hang out with the fellas probably.
Yeah, honestly, that's what he tells us all the time, because he was like, he is starting to see like a lot of famous stuff, but like when he come back to Houston, it's still home for him.
Yeah.
So he was like, when I come back to Houston, I really don't even want to be on no females. I really just want to be with my dogs. And I'm like, okay, I get that, but like at the same time, we could do that shit.
Okay, we could did it. We ain't have to do all this, bro. Like, you got the bread.
Like we need the bread. I get it. I want women around, and me, I'm not. Maybe it's born for me because I'm not even searching for no woman. So I'm like, I'm just sitting here like
even if I don't, like, me being single, if I don't search for a woman, it's like somehow they still kind of pop up. It's like, it's just, bro, they just pop up. Let's just chill, man. Calm down. It's cool.
Yeah. Like last weekend, I was out. I hit 2 places. So first I went to a pool. It was a little pool day. We ain't spending a dime. We ain't spending a dime, but that was fun. Like I was telling my boys, I was like, stop it, chill out. I was out with my boys and we ain't spent a dime, but I was just sitting back chilling. We was by the pool. We had a nice scenery. We ain't spent that was fun. And I was like, bro, honestly, I can do this all day. We can go order food, and I'll be good just sitting back, chilling, thinking, conversating, chopping it up. We talking about business. We talking about life goals. Who got you into this? Where I came into that. Like I appreciate those moments because you don't get those moments all the time, right? When we went out to the club and stuff, and we bar hopping, Uber, we had to find, okay, now this place is whack, that place is whack. We had to go here, there. That to me was more monotonous. Like I'll do it, but that to me was like, bro,
I'm ready to go home.
I'm ready to go home straight up.
I'm tired, nigga.
I'm tired, and so I think it's just a cat and mouse. Like I like being able to just have my time and just chill. And you realize when you're a workaholic, this is the one downside of it. You know, just keeping it a stack. When you're a workaholic, you don't always get the time to breathe and kind of be like, you know.
I'm so glad you said it. Thank God you said it. Because people ask me, they say, why you want to stay at the house all the time on the weekends? I said, my mind's always moving. The time I can just get my brain to just sit still, that is relaxing. That's peace. I'm so glad you said that because, wow, somebody need to learn that one.
Go ahead.
No, I go lay in my bed, bro, and like, especially after a long day and doing everything I needed to get done, all my responsibilities out the way. I go in my bed, I'm like, oh, bro, let me put something on just to lay back and just shit. Even if it's a rerun of everything, like you said, Martin, I be watching like all these other shows, bro. I'm like just like, nah, I watched this already, but it's peaceful because I know for sure my mind ain't gonna work over 10 about something else because I can watch this rewind, I can be fine, I can be laying down, I ain't got nothing to worry about. All my shit is done. Nobody's calling me about nothing. Bro, I'm good.
Both of y'all need to be a teacher for a year, just like man.
Nope.
Listen to me. So I had to run it.
I'll probably knock a kid. I'll probably just stop kids out of here. So like every day, I'm like, hey, get your stuff together. I'm like, get your stuff together, bro.
But you just premeditated some shit. But nah, see, my thing is though, I had to run and joke this year, right? Where I'd be like, we'll be in the office just like this, and I look at the coaches, I look at whatever teachers in the room, I'd be like, y'all hear that? They'd be like, what? Nothing. Exactly. Because it's just nothing but stimulation all day long. And like that's what, especially for me, that's what life is. Like you get up, and the second I get up, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go here. No minute is wasted, which is probably why I was thinking about this on the way here. Like the fact that I still have a daytime job and I still work 9 to 5 while doing these projects, honestly, is better for me because now I have to allocate time to relax. If I just only did this stuff, people think, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you ain't got nothing. You don't got no time, or you don't got nothing to do. I'm like, bro, no, it'd be the opposite. I'd be working all day, every day. Even the time I'm resting, I'd probably still be working on stuff. So it's honestly good to kind of know how to learn how to balance and kind of learn how to say, hey, you got to chill out sometimes. Because if not, you will run yourself into a wall trying to tackle everything at one time. So like, I mean, when you talk about me being able to go home and just being able to relax, like that's me being able to recharge and reset my brain for the next day, or just to debrief from that day. Because the way we're able to work this way is because we have those moments where we're able to say, okay, let's recharge, let's reset, and let's get ready for the next day at hand, so we can be able to tackle it. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to complain about it. You know, we can't. I would say we can't complain about it, right? Because nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Nobody's going to want to care.
We chose this life.
We chose this life. We chose to be it, and this is our responsibility as men. So as a result, you got to learn how to balance all that, which is probably why, like me, it's like, hey, okay, I'm gonna work. I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna take care of this, but then I'm gonna need this time to reset and recharge. That's what it is.
No, literally, like I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs that are thriving for that now, a lot of them say they don't do nothing now because a lot of them don't. A lot of them just are stagnant. I'm like, y'all realize y'all are not bringing in enough money to be sitting. They're supposed to be how you are. That's how the people who have these businesses like Amazon or Facebook or Walmart, like they had to go 1,000 miles an hour. But now people be thinking like, oh, I'm only going to do the social media route. And if it don't work, then I don't even want to. But that's when it falls into, I'm going to take the easy route of OnlyFans. I'm going to take the easy route of going that way. Like, it's just a lot of people losing the drive and the consistent hustle. So
I couldn't do the easy route. I'd be losing my mind. Like, bro, I got so much time on hands.
You know, you sitting there just looking crazy. Like, waking up at 11, going out on a Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm like, Houston's known for going out on a weekday anyways. But like, I can never go on like go out on a Tuesday or Wednesday when I know I got to be up Thursday at like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like I just wouldn't even put myself in that situation. A lot of people do. I'm like,
the only way I'll go out on the Tuesday, Wednesday, if I'm going to somebody else's crib. Like, all right, cool. We over here.
Yeah,
we ain't going out nowhere else, boy. I swear you. If someone if like she asked me like, oh, so like you over here? You want to go out? No, we're sitting over here.
Yeah, and if y'all do, that's cool. I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah,
that's my first and last stop.
Yep.
So I got this question. So we're all talking about us living our lives, independent people, or us all being introverts. We all like our time to reach. Is that really? Do y'all really think us as men, especially, can live that way? Do you really think that that's a life that guys are comfortable with? Do you think that that's a good life for men to live? I mean, honestly, because it sounds good, huh?
Introverted?
I don't even want to use the word introverted. I mean, this is
a word for me.
I mean, it's the word. It's straight up, but I mean, I'm looking at that. I'm thinking like, man, that sounds easier said than done. We can do it, but that's not how most people are wired. Most people like social interactions. Most people like getting out there and looking at us, kind of like, man, these full of shit. So to that, what do y'all really think? Do y'all think that men truly enjoy living an independent life away from people, being introverted, or do you think that guys would prefer to be outside, to be living life, to be enjoying things, to be out, but they don't have the means or the resources to do it?
Oh my
that's
God.
really the problem.
I say there is a delicate balance with it. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a delicate balance with being out and being independent at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my social battery is it's a lot because at the same time I'm in sales and everything, and Lon, you're in sales as well too. So we speak to a lot of people on the daily, no matter what. So it's social battery has to be high. But it's when we get our time alone, just to be alone, I'll take that every day. Almost over 80% of the damn time.
Literally.
So it's definitely a balance. I say we can't really do independent too much like that, but it's best to do it in a good balance. A good balance. Not 50-50. Mm-hmm. There ain't no damn such thing as 50-50 in that aspect at all, and you need in relationships. And also,
I saw a video about that last week. She said there's no such thing as 50-50. I was like, dang. I used to say it was 50-50. And then I did. You see, and I broke it down. Mm-hmm. She broke it down, and it made sense. She was basically, you have to communicate. She was like, if I can only bring in 20%, today I just need you to give me 80 to help us get to that 100. Mm-hmm. But there might be days where you might be at 35%. She said it's about compromising each other and lifting each other up. She's like, but it's never going to be 50-50 every day. Never. I was like, dang.
Never. That was good. Never like that.
So that was a good point.
Mm-hmm. Let's transition to this, man. So we talk a lot about our jobs, our means, you guys are in sales and in education, and I have other projects that I decided to get into. Meanwhile, Lion also has his own food catering business, Taste the Home. Trey outside the business, That God Body. So we all talk about all these projects that we're trying to lift and get up off the ground, up and running. And it kind of goes to what is your purpose in life, kind of into why are we doing all these things, right? Mm-hmm. So most people will be perfectly content having a 9-to-5, being able to have their bills paid, and that's it. But for those of us who go above and beyond, or just in general, so I just want to open the floor. What does it mean to be a man on this purpose to y'all?
Me and my definition of it, you have to find your why, to find your purpose.
Start with why.
I found my why finally, and it took me my brain used to be at 1,000,000 miles per hour, because I was single. So of course, being a man, you want women, but I wasn't really stressed about it. But at the same time, you're not even noticing. You're texting so many women, you're texting all these people, and you're losing focus of your why. Yes. So when you, no disrespect, maybe women are like this too with men, but whoever you're talking to, it's just you're stopping me from my journey, from my goal of getting money. Mm-hmm. So it's because you do have to have sexual needs, or you do have to build relationships with others, but it does take away from the things like Mole or things like the podcast. So it's if I just pour everything I'm pouring into you, into that, I'd probably be rich. And that's what Shannon Sharp was saying, that I never could be in a relationship because he was like, I'm pouring all of this into football. And if you do not like it, then you probably shouldn't be with me. And that's why he's not married right now. But it's like, you have to find your why. My why now is just like, I don't mind living in a middle class life no more. Because there's a lot of those rich people that we don't know has $4 or $5 million by retirement. And then they can go on the same trip. They might not be able to do as much as Drake and all them. But like, you still live in, I think Drake is more like, just use him for example, the top of the top. I think has like his mindset, his mental like health is worse than somebody in middle class. Mm-hmm. He has everything you can think of, but these people who are in like Katy or these people who are in the Woodlands or something, you gotta know that's in like Houston, a suburb of Houston. Those men have a wife with kids, and I'm not saying everything is hunky dory in it, but they're having picnics, barbecues, people coming over, cousins, family, and it's peaceful. It's peaceful.
It looks peaceful,
and you go home. You don't have to do too much to like satisfy me at least. So everybody's going to be situational, but mine, you got to ask yourself, what's your why?
Sure.
I mean, for me, the purpose of me for my purpose is just to give the facts of of how to treat yourself and how to actually have a good body at the same time. I look at a lot of videos on what we put in our bodies and what goes into our bodies, and also what's best for us to have in our systems and everything. So really, to be a man on purpose, you just have to end up, like I said, start with why. It's a book that I've read also by Grant. I forgot his name exactly though, but that's the book. And really having that why is very instrumental of you trying to find your purpose. My purpose, like I said, is also just to give men, give men and women at the same time information on what can be put into your body, and also what's best for you at the same time, and how to live your life in the right way, following God as well too, if you're a Christian like that. Mm-hmm. And that's really my purpose. I see that purpose full-heartedly.
Let's see, so I guess it's the deep thinker's turn, so I'll try to bring it all simply.
Bible.
So I'll say put simply, legacy to me, I like what Trey said, it starts with why, but for me, it ends with legacy. Purpose to me starts with why and ends with legacy. We have to think, okay, what is the why? Why do I get up in the morning? Why do I get up and go to work? What is even the reason for even me getting up? And I think a lot of people, you talk about me who's able to get up every morning and go 1,000 miles an hour. That's because I know what my why is. I'm trying to build these projects from the ground up. London talks about always, hey, I'm proud of you because you started your shit up from the mud and you're building it from scratch. And I love it that way because for me, I'm able to look at this and say, look, this Molet started off as an idea. This is an idea like, hey, okay, challenge yourself to create a fragrance brand. And just going in the lab, trying out with the oils like I showed Trey how to do. From then, okay, now we got the oils, okay, now the name. From the name now to the cars now to talking to people, figuring out, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this with podcasts? How do you talk to people? How do you public speak? You're not good at public speaking, then you have to figure out how to do it. You have to try, fail, dust yourself off, keep on going. But the whole thing is I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, how do I get better at this? All the way to where we get to this moment now where I can literally see and touch the project, the full, everything coming full circle. So for me, it's about what is that thing that drives you, that wakes you up in the morning, that puts that fire in your blood to say, hey, I got to get up, I got to tackle the day, because there's always an opportunity to be better than you were yesterday. There's always a chance to do more. And as long as you are alive, as long as your eyes open every morning, you have an opportunity to make a better life for yourself. Yeah. Then, from the legacy aspect, it's about being able, for me, I've always wanted to help people. Anything that I've done, I've always tried to help people. The reason being, because I've had a lot of people, a lot of OGs help me, so it's only right that I give back, right? And I think me being a teacher, right, is bigger than just me going to school and teaching curriculum, right? People always ask, oh, what do you think about it? I'm like, look, honestly, it's made me a better person because you have youngsters that look up to you for guidance. And so now you have to check yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, it's not about you. It's not just about you. You have people looking up to you. You have to set a good example for them. And then whenever it got to them asking me or them trying to push me like, hey, coach, when you coming out with the fragrances, how do you get into it? How do you start a business? How do you do that? It was like, oh, light bulb. Now it's bigger than just any type of product. Now you really are trying to put them on game. So you have to figure this shit out so you can give them the game that they need. You know, because you don't know, your project may not be the biggest thing, but you could inform the next one. You could launch the next one. That youngster that doesn't know what they want to do with life, but because you had that influence on them to say, I can do this too. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. So for me, it's legacy not just for youngsters who I teach or coach, but also my kids. Like, I'm all about whomever I impact, wherever I meet, I want to be able to give them as much game as I can because they don't leave in a better situation than I found.
Clip that. We're like literally clip that.
Clip that.
Like, there's so many people who forgot that method of, like, I like that little method when somebody pays, they might pay for somebody's coffee or something behind them, and they keep passing it back and back and back.
I think of that so much time, every time I go to Starbucks, I'm like, yo, nobody does this no more.
Nobody does that no more.
No.
And it's like, it's not like, okay, it's just, I've had somebody do it for me before, and I'm like, that was a nice gesture.
Yeah.
But me, I was, it stopped at me, but now I was.
That one time too.
I appreciate it.
I gotta go.
I ain't about to pay for theirs, but it does go back. On a serious note, it do go back to, I wish more people was, like, giving to, like, I'm very big on, like, giving back to, like, I'm not a big influencer, but people who will see me in the gym, some people ask me, like, bro, how'd you get this big, or what did you do to this? I'm like, honestly, bro, I started off really obese in a way, like, and I just started just lifting, and then it turned into muscle. I don't know, like, it just worked for me. So I'm like, don't. And it used to be the kids who are kind of chubby. I'm like, okay, y'all, or this really skinny
kid.
And I do see some people who are influencers who will kind of just like brush them off, which I get. It could be boring. Like, you get annoying after a while, and I get it, but
bro, that ain't it.
It's like, if you can't take the time out your day to tell one of them just something real, like today somebody came up to me, he was like, hey man, I was on the phone. I said, I'm on the phone. And I make sure after I got off the phone, I did go to talk to him. I'm like, I could have just left and like whatever, but
yeah,
I talked to him about the shirt I had on, which was an Alpha League shirt, and then he's like, thank you man, from Dallas, whatever. And that could have you just never know, it could change somebody's whole day or month, year, whatever. He could have been having something real wrong with him. So
to that point, I'll bring the NBA example that I heard. I love listening to podcasts. So one of the ones I listen to is All the Smoke. And Penny Hardaway, right? Yeah. Penny Hardaway was one of those athletes from multiple accounts. Kobe said it, Will said it, where, they'll try to get an autograph and they'll try to talk to him and he'll brush them off. And those guys never forget that. So and LeBron said this also, where your first impression, going back to the whole thing of Molet, right? Your first impression is everything, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody could come talk to you, maybe they're curious, maybe they want help, maybe they're seeking help. All it took was 30 seconds, 60 seconds out your day of, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. This is such, we're an influencer culture. As being an influencer, I mean, you think about what that word means, you influence people to change their life. Maybe right or wrong, maybe people shouldn't look up to you, but at the end of the day, this is what it is, right? And so with those guys looking up to Penny and then him brushing them off, they were like, nah, I'm good on you. Versus a Shaq, a Kobe, a Bron, like even Kobe, who was more of an introvert, he still would pour into young guys especially. So now you look at, God rest the dead, but everyone still remembers him in a positive light. Mm-hmm. And so it goes to what London is just saying, like, the way you give off an impression of somebody, you never know who's going to remember that, who's going to appreciate it if you take the time out, or if you diss him, who's going to remember that and be like, hey, nah, I remember that guy, hey, nah, he a snake. Or you never know if life comes full circle and you run into that person again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They could be a decision maker for you, one way or another. So I think it's really important for people to understand, like, hey, you never know who you're meeting. You always try to lead people in a positive light. Doesn't mean you have to be friends and like everybody. Nah. But if you have the ability to control the outcome, you always want to make sure you can lead people in a positive light than a negative light.
You just got a lot of clips today.
Shit, bro. I ain't got nothing to say after that, because damn, bro.
I know.
You basically clipped it all in there.
Ain't nothing else to say.
I can't say anything. Because basically it's like, is because I experienced that many times. Like, you know, kids always come up to me and ask me, like, you know, how to do this, how to do that, and I will genuinely, like, you know, let you know of all the things that I've done to get to that point. And if you don't, and if I don't see you ever again, cool. I had a good conversation with you. I did what I did to help you out best I can. And you come back to me and say that, like this is that, like, bro, I'm glad I met you and everything. I'm like, damn, it kind of feels good to know that I had a positive, like, you know, input on this person's life. I like that. I had a positive outcome, and that's just all I asked for.
Yeah, straight up. All right, let's get a little spicy now. So, let me ask y'all this: we talk about what our lifestyles look like as men and how we would live if it was just us, and if we were single, or maybe not, or whatever the case. What factor do y'all think women play in a man's evolution?
My turn.
You want to put this in there?
Honestly, they play a big role. Y'all can have all these women who are, personally, I mean, I'm not looking for nobody, but like if I would say y'all can have the women who are like, oh, this ain't the 1960s, 1970s, and I mean like 1970s, 1980s, like women like. I'm not saying that you can't be a worker, and I'm an advocate on. I love that women needs equal rights. Like y'all should get paid equal, this and this, but at the same time, just because now you work in corporate America 9 to 5, like we would go chop down wood and bring it home so y'all could cook. Y'all can do the same thing now and work hard, but don't forget your wifely duties. And like let's not act like they don't have a role in that. They're born to be nurturers. Like if you really go by the Bible and go by off of everything what it goes out of that, then a lot of people claim to be really religious, and I'm very spiritual, but I want to get more religious as well. But a lot of people claim to be so close with God, and they just, to me, I feel like they're forgetting their how it started and how everything went. And I'm like, to me, I love that a woman will like wash my clothes, like cook me food, make sure like my lunch is packed for work. Like I like all those things because like for me, that helps me out and it keeps me on track. If like I'm a very cluttered person, so when I'm cluttered, they will be like, pick this up, like get this. Like she will clean up, but after a while she'll be like, get this up. Let's keep everything in order. And she make this keep going. And I'm like, without that, I'll probably be disorganized. Like the fridge, she make sure the fridge is clean. Like it's just little stuff that I probably won't see. She gonna see it, and then it's just like I'm gonna teach her the things like investing, opening up a Roth IRA, having a like how's your 401k? Are you saving? Like I save 70%, spend 30. If I can do 80 to 20, I will do that. But it's about 70 to 30. But for me, I teach her the things. I think a lot of women suffer from trauma. I don't care what woman you are, you have some type of trauma. And like so does men, but I think men can hold it in better, and we can put a lot on our shoulders. So we can carry that for years and years. But a woman is more emotional. So for me, I teach her how to get over certain things as a little kid or relationships or whatever it could be. That's my role to elevate you and pick you up there. It's like it's your job to elevate me and pick me up there. And that's what I think a woman brings to you. A woman's going to tell you, you don't need to be going over here. You don't need to be going, like if you got friends that are from the hood, or if you got friends who are bad influences, whatever it is, she's going to say, hold up, don't go. If you have a good one at least. Don't go here. Don't do that. Like, did you eat? They're going to ask questions like that. The little stuff that you just don't even think. Like,
why are you asking me this question? But it's like,
like go kill, like random text, go kill your meeting or something, go close something, or how was them students today? Like, did they get on your nerves and just ask you deep questions that don't mean nothing, but you took the time to really ask me something. Thank you, because a lot of these females out here like, we gonna take me, we gonna buy me, nothing. That's true.
Damn, bro, I missed that.
Fire, man.
Like the fire you brought in that. Because I do miss that at the same time. There's a lot of that is especially needed, like in a man's life. Like they play a big role in that stuff. Because like you know, like when you definitely have something like that, it's hard to pick yourself. It's kind of hard to pick yourself back up from that, especially if you're not strong-minded or like you know, mentally strong-minded and physically strong-minded. Physically minded. physically built to do that stuff because it takes a lot. A woman actually brings a good amount of like, you know, especially a good woman brings a good amount of I can not say positivity, a good amount of purpose to your life, and actually they can actually even build. They can possibly build your purpose up even more than what you already have right now. Than what you
think your why.
Hmm?
Some of them can be your why.
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. And they can, like, you know, bring a really big sense of purpose to your life. Like the little organization skills and everything that they can bring, yeah, it's a natural, especially because most men, we kind of live like I said, clutter life, but also, like, you know, we just like let things sit around. We just like, nah, she gonna get to that shit later type thing. It's all good, but then they gonna see it. They like, nah, we need to kind of clean this up. This don't look right. Like, you know, they're gonna bring a whole new aspect in your mind.
They're gonna bring a whole different visual to your home. I'm like, I really don't care what you do to it.
I
Like,
swear.
like, just do it. Like, as long as I come inside and it's clean, and I feel like when I sit down, it's just homey.
Yeah.
I don't care what you
It's
do.
like that. Like right now, I ain't gonna lie. I got no dining table. I'm cool with that. I ain't no. I don't need no damn dining table. Like, but the couch and everything, of course, that's needed. Like, and she's gonna be like, oh, what about this? Let's put like curtains here. Let's put like rugs here. I'm like, all this stuff is really needed.
Like, I'm not about to do it.
Yeah.
But if you do it, then that's why you're here.
Exactly.
You bring a different piece to me that I need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Over.
Well, I think
The thinker.
I would say that for most men, women are their why, and it's honestly the sole reason why most men live is to find a good woman or for women, right? I think us three in here, we're outliers in the sense that we have lives and we're complete without women, but what I also believe is that the right woman can elevate you, but the wrong woman can deter you because she can corrupt you, right? And so that's just what it is. It's not women are this. It's not a zero-sum game, really. It's about if you find a woman that you are compatible with and she understands you for your flaws, your faults, but she loves you and she respects you, she accepts you despite all that, and you do the same for her, then you guys can come together, make a family unit, and you guys can build a life together, right? I think it's been lost, the reason why we are meant. I think both humanity's purpose is to procreate, right? And the way you do that is that a man goes out, he catches the fish, he tackles the world, he fights all the battles, and then he comes home and he finds a woman who he's compatible with, and that woman is able to nurture not only him but the children that they may have, and you know, they build a life in which they complement one another, and because they complement one another, it trickles down to the children. You know, for me, and you talk about it, like, I'm single because I'm like, I've seen what it looks like having the wrong woman, I've seen what it looks like having the right woman, right? I'm the type, I have enough abundance in my life, I have enough stuff going on that I'm not going to force myself into, man, I got to be with this person even though I know that they're the wrong fit. Okay, hey, I don't mind taking my time, giving a woman a fair shake, getting to know her, building her up, being able to say, okay, let me gauge your character, let me see if we're compatible, let me see if I'm a match for you, right? Because I understand it's a tango, right? I got to be a match for you just like you got to be a match for me, right? Then from there, that time that we're building, we're also going through our little obstacles, our little things. See, a lot of people are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and from the standpoint of, if I see this one little thing, if I see this one little yellow flag, not even a red flag, there's one thing I don't like, I'm out. The first thing is smoking. And I think it's about being able to go through those battles and say, okay, we have this, we did this, we worked through this. All right, but this is what we were able to compromise. This is what we were able to figure out. This is what I learned about that woman that I'm talking to, knowing that, right? You have to go through those scars, you have to go through those battles because that makes y'all's bond stronger. You know, people are going to tug at you all through life. London's talked about that. Trey's talked about it. I've talked about that. We've all had these conversations off camera. People trying to tug at your relationships. People trying to tug at your lifestyles, your life, the way you think, the way you are, right? And you have to be able to rebuild those bonds. You have to be able to tighten that fabric up even stronger to make sure that nobody can break it. What's going on in y'all's house is what goes on with y'all's house and it's y'all's business, not everybody else's business. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
And then just from a grand scheme of it all, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just important to make sure that you with the right person for the right reasons, right? You're not with somebody who's materialistic, right? You're the type, you're an introvert, you like being in the house, but no, I want you taking me to this place, that place, that place. I want you to take me to Noble. If that's what you want to do, and that's the type of woman you're with, by all means, y'all are matched. By all means, that's the lifestyle y'all want. But if you know, I can provide, I can do it, but it doesn't mean I have to be doing it all the time, right? No, you have to. You're obligated to take. No, that's not. I think what you talked about earlier is any person who's a narcissist, male, female, that's not a person. That's not a wife or a husband for nobody.
Nope.
Right? And I think that's what a lot of society has evolved to. If knowing your worth has turned into people have to value you more than you value them, and that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? You value each other mutually, and then you guys help build each other up. You take your skills, and then you take your weaknesses. You take your partner's skills and weaknesses. You put them together, and you try to elevate. That's what it's all about.
I saw Twitter posted something, and somebody put it on their Instagram story. This is how I think lost the world is. I'll go in the comments and just see what people say to it.
Oh, I hate
it said, take his salary, he made like 170, I just gave a scenario, and she made like 75.
Mm-hmm.
It said take one of the salaries and use it off of both of you guys, and then invest her salary into like stock portfolios, long term, short term, mutual funds,
Smart.
and you build something. That's teamwork. And I'm just going in the comments. Every dang girl in there was like, "Well, why she got to be making less?" I'm like, "That's not the point. Like, I get what you're coming from.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
But,
on,
like, let's think.
I'm
Like,
looking at it
I'm like,
as an aspect. Come on,
like you
Jesus.
think, okay, fine, put it on her. She makes 170, you make
But
7.
to that though, man, honestly, you know what I say to people like that, or to people who have that mindset is, look, okay, fine, you know what, you can't be helped because your mind's not in it. Your mind's not in it.
I'm not gonna deal with you.
You're not approaching it from a genuine standpoint. If you're not getting the big picture, those are the people who I would.
Like, you're so in tune with this society of, everybody puts down women. Not all men look at women and be like, y'all can't. The people that I was with, I've always said, I want you to make more than me. If you're not making more than me now, that's fine. But let's work to get you there. So like, if you are making 300, 250, I'm just saying some high numbers. But like, if you do that, and then I know you started under me, and then I played a part, you played a part in it, and we're a team, I have no problem with my woman making more than me. It's just about the woman you're with. A lot of women are I hope women don't do this, but if you make over 6 figures and they make a higher 6 figures, they still look at you like, I'm better than you. Let's not get into that, because I technically don't need you, but like, so that's the only difference I would say is like.
And that to me is not a wife, that's another competitor. I mean, you might as well just work with them all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that like again, I've gotten a mindset to where any person who looks at relationships as a competition and somebody you're supposed to be with, any person who has that type of mindset, I don't even want to have a conversation with, because you miss the whole point.
The whole point.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen that too. Men and women both look at it like a man can't have a woman who makes more than him. My kids have asked me that question. This is the good thing about having older teens. Like, they ask you those type of questions. Like, well, coach, how would you feel if your wife made more than you? I was like, look, that's a great thing. That tells me she's successful. Right? Now, where guys will look at that and say, oh, well, no, she won't come with respect. I mean, a woman who has respect is going to have it whether she makes $5K or $500K.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where you have to be diligent and purposeful as far as like, okay, let me get to know this type of person. Is this person selfish, or is this person giving? Does this person have terrible tendencies, or does she have narcissistic and self-centered tendencies? Vice versa for the woman. Ladies, if y'all want to be with a man who is willing to provide, willing to share, then you have to be able, okay, how is he with his money? Does he know how to manage money? How is he with people? How does he represent himself? Does he represent himself in the right way or the wrong way? That's all it's about. So, see, like, London and Trey ask me the questions all the time about, like, what do you think about this person, that person, that person? And I'm like, my thought process, it gets very, like, black and white. I'm like, that's not about a person, that is one. Because for me, I boil it down to the basic characteristics. Does this person seem like a good person? Do they seem genuine? Do they seem like, you know, they are a good hang or not? If they're not, I'm good on them. And it's very simple. And that's the way I try to tell youngsters to be, how I tell my family to be, and how I tell them to be. You know, it's really not, humanity is really not that complicated. And I've boiled it down to simplicity, and I think at that moment, you save yourself a lot of headaches, especially when you're thinking like me. You're just like, look, A plus B equals C.
Don't it's even. I was gonna ask you that, and then you said it takes to going through things to know if that person's not for you. Because I was gonna say, well, don't you think you have to go through something to figure out if that person's the one for you? But you answered it, so I was like, I like that standpoint from it now.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on this. I want to go to this direction. You talked a little bit, Lon, and even Trey, about materialism, relationships. Do y'all really think, on a grander scale, that men can live a life nowadays where they just make ends meet, they just make an honest living? Or do you think women really aren't going to go for that anymore? Just because I see so much on social media, TikTok, where if he's not balling, a woman won't even look his way. If he don't got the 100K on Instagram as far as followers, if he don't make six figures, he don't even get a look. I'm just trying to pose that, not to be a cynic, but just to ask the question of, have we evolved past those times where we're in a time now of haves and have-nots?
I think that's all smoky mirrors, honestly. You gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta be that dude. Like, if that's never, like, my girl knows about my story, so I don't really be caring to talk about it on here. So I will say, I've talked to girls in the past who talk to like athletes and like hoopers and stuff, and like that never fazed me. I'm like, he can go have you. Sure. At the end of the day, I'm gonna beat you with this. And he makes millions. I make a good living, but he makes millions, so I don't make even in the same rim of him. But at the same time, I'm not wanting you no more because you keep talking about, oh, buddy, or I talked to this person. I'm like,
why aren't you with him?
Sure. I don't care who you talk to. Like, I'm happy for you. Like, and at that time I was single, and then that's when I started really replying to people, and then that's when they'd be like, women like a chase. Women, you gotta think about this. You can go in any girl's DM, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all 5 of the DMs on those platforms, they're gonna have guys flooded on their stuff just because guys don't know how to just not swipe up. It's too easy to swipe up. Yeah. I've seen it too. Yeah. So it's like, it's so easy to swipe up and type something out. But it's like, people don't know how to, one, approach a woman, court a woman, this and this. So when you do those things that we do, it seems foreign. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna beat 95% of y'all men. Like, some of the girls are gonna be like, I want this. They're gonna always get probably the first eye. Don't get me wrong. But when you really, once a woman bites on that, like, fish net, whatever you want to call it, or stick, whatever, it's like, you gonna see, like, oh, this guy's different. This guy cooks. Like, for me, I cooked. I like to be at home watching TV. I like to drink wine. I know about wines. They're like, well, and then if a woman did come over, I would never touch them. They're like, why does this guy just never? I can sit here and I can have a conversation with you and never bother you ever again in my life. Like, and they're like, well, that's different. Nobody's ever done that with me. Well, I'm sorry. That's not. I'm just gonna be me. And if you don't like me, then either we like each other or we don't. And that's kind of where I kidded off with my girl. Like, we ran into our stuff, as y'all know, but like, it just kept, she's like the person that was like really, I connected with the most. I didn't see myself dating nobody ever again. I was like, this is, I was kind of like Obi, and I was like,
wait a minute, like Obi, hold on.
Like, I was like, I'm not, this is, but that's when you say, you lose your purpose. Like, it goes back to that conversation, you lose your purpose, because you're talking to so many girls. Every guy's going to talk to some girls, and then that's going to just distract you. And it's just, to me, it's better just to have one.
And then also to speak on the matter, like how you said with chasing everything, my homeboy had put me onto this one girl because basically he showed me, he showed her, like, you know, like, oh, you can talk to this guy right here, like, he's single now and stuff. And like, she said, oh yeah, he's cute, like, I want to hit him up. And then I followed, and then he had me follow her and everything. I hit her up, she hit me back. So guess what I did? I'm leaving that shit alone. I don't care. I ain't got no time for this, bro. Look, I'm not gonna chase you, nothing like that. It's not being like, you know, cocky or like being like having the overtime confidence. It's like, I ain't got time. I don't give a damn. I can talk to this other female right here who I know and who's really cool and who likes me. Yeah. That's it. I ain't got time for anybody else. So to go on the matter of fact with the have and have-nots, Yeah, it's like you let said on this smoky mirrors like crazy. Because like I'm not like, look, I'm gonna ask a question. You talking about this high level guy likes you and everything. Why aren't you with them? Like really? So why don't you stay with them at the same time?
Because he probably don't want you.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so look, I'm gonna pull. I'm not gonna pull him. I'm gonna pull me. I'm just gonna sit back, talk to you, probably and let's match you. But then it's gonna be just that. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We ain't gonna go any further like this because you're on the top of time to like, oh, I had this guy hit me. I had this guy hit me. Like, I don't give a damn about that.
Yeah.
If I really did give a damn, I can't say if I did or not because I just don't.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Thank you.
Here's what I think me it boils down to. I have it, but I damn sure don't need it. Like I have it, and I have the money to be able to provide and all of that stuff, and I'm only on my way up with all the projects I'm doing. But at the end of the day, like London says, like Trey said, like I don't need it to make that be the reason why old man is interested in me or not. At the end of the day, I can do this, and I don't have to talk about anything that I have. Like me, it's just gonna be I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna control what I can control. I'm gonna say something if I'm attracted to them. If they like me, great. If they don't, then they don't. But at the end of the day, I have enough abundance where I know that there's not just one woman in the world. And I think God have lost that with chase culture and with this whole thing of you have to chase until you get it. Nah, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the thing that London and Trey get on me so much about is like, I'm too quick to cut them off. It's about, for me, I match energy with what I'm getting. I match the same energy. So if a woman puts in effort, then I'm gonna put the same effort. Then if we have attraction, right? But if I'm feeling like, oh well, she's lukewarm or maybe she's not engaging in the conversation, then I'm not gonna waste my time or her time. It's as simple as that. Because at the end of the day, I know what I'm chasing towards. So and I know what my purpose is. So at the end of the day, if we just aren't aligned, that's okay. Like I'm not the type to take anything personal. I'm not the type to be mad about nothing. It is what it is. So if a woman said, I want a man who makes millions and want a rapper, athlete, that's what they want. And I'm not that. We're not a match. We're not compatible. But if you want someone who makes an honest living, who has a lot of insight, who's a giver, who's nurturing, who is intellectual,
You can still put a roof in your goddamn head.
straight up all that involved, and who likes a person who has an active lifestyle and all these other things, and by all means, boom, we're a match, and then we can take it from there. But at the end of the day, it's a tangle. I'm gonna start using that. Like I'm gauging that woman's interest, and she gotta gauge mine too. Because at the end of the day, like I'm looking at, okay, what am I looking at from this one? What am I getting from this one as well? Just as much as she's looking at it from me. It's not only the man looking at or trying to prove himself to the woman, but it's like, okay, you as a man have to say, can this woman be a wife, be a future mother to my children? And that's what you have to think about as well. So does the fact that woman has that mindset, is that even attractive to you? Right? I think guys lose that ability to say, like being able to vet, like, okay, that mindset could cause issues later on down the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's stuff like that. That's not me being cynical, that's just, you have to always be thoughtful of those type of things. And then honestly, if you have a good woman in your midst, like, okay, this is a good woman, I don't need to mess this up. Okay, let me try to work through this. Okay, let me try to gauge her more. Let me see, is there anything I can help her with? How can I help her? How can I create a better life for her? When you're always thinking optimistically instead of pessimistically, then you're not gonna take dating and all these other things so seriously or so personally. I think a lot of guys get caught up in, man, this one didn't like me, so now all the rest of them not gonna mess with me. It's like, nah, man, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. If we smash, we smash. If we just have a conversation and sip on wine or sip on whatever, and we go out for a drink, and cool.
Better set some damn rules, I'll tell you that right now.
What kind of rules? What kind of rules? Shit.
And I said a few rules at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, if there was one time, there's one, she was late on this date. I think I told you about this. Maybe I think I told you that as well. There was one time she was late on this date. I told her, like, okay, I'm going to get there at this time. And then I said, if I'm going to be late, I'm going to let you know. Yeah. Now, I got there at a little later time. Of course, I let her know that fact. And then I asked her, like, how long till you get over there? Like, how long until you can get over there? and she said 20 minutes. I'm like, bet, okay, by the time I get there, you'll be there. Wasn't there. I waited 10 minutes. Still wasn't there. I hit her up. He said, oh, I thought you meant like how long until I get ready. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. I'm leaving. Dipped out and everything. And then she called me up and said, well, we can go around here and everything because we look close by. I'm like, okay, let's go to this place. She's like, nah, I already had that. I'm like, okay, never mind. We ain't gonna do this.
See, that then boils down to, that's a principle of respect, right? Like, you didn't respect my time, and now you're not respecting even my decision making. Like, I hear someone's talking about like, oh, I just want a man to have a plan and for him to have a direction for us to go.
I had a plan.
You had a plan, right? But she's like, no, I don't like that plan. I want to do something else. Like, look,
You don't know what the hell they want.
So I mean, at the end of the day, that just boils down to respect and time. Like that's all that is when I hear that. But I mean, she just didn't respect the time and she didn't respect your obligations because she didn't know what if you had other stuff going on, right? Like it's not all about that person. So that's what that boils down to me. But at the end of the day, you know, fellas, ladies, you know, we gotta cut this whole materialism stuff out, and I gotta start looking at the intangibles and start building life with each other. It's easier said than done, obviously, but you know, that's what we can. Huh?
So just be genuine.
That's it. Be genuine. Have a little bit of empathy, a little bit of respect, a little bit of gratitude too. Because I mean, life could be worse. You know what I'm saying? So I think as long as we get that, you know, people get to a point where they can start healing and people can start being with each other. I think at the end of the day, like I'm talking about smoke and mirrors, people really want to be with a person. People want to find a spouse, but everyone is so caught up in what they want, and they don't look at, okay, how can I be a better person and a better partner? You know what I'm saying? And if people don't look in the mirror, then anybody, they're not, first off, they don't know how their reflection is if they don't ever look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? So
Obviously, I mean that's really all it is like you just can't not look in the mirror and look at yourself and see it as a person who you are. You should always want to be a good person for you, and I think a lot of people are looking at other people to be somebody they're not. Like just like being genuine is, as much as it sounds easy, like be genuine is like people don't know how to be themselves, so how can they be genuine?
That's true. That is very true.
all right, fellas, that's it. Good episode, man. Good conversation. I think we'll be able to touch on things. I think we'll be able to learn something from this. Do y'all have any final thoughts before we close out?
No, this is another good therapy session. You know, it's my weekly therapy.
Trey, what about you?
I just say just boil down, just be honest with yourself and be honest with others around you at the same time. Just have the honesty, then you could possibly find some genuine, have a genuine moral attitude towards people at the same time.
Yeah, y'all got me actually talking these past few weeks, man. I'm usually trying to just lay back, but y'all got me actually.
Mediate, now you over here getting clips.
Yeah, you got whole clips up here right there.
That's what it's all about, man. But we appreciate all y'all who continue to listen, tune in, and tap in with us, obviously. You know, continue to share, pour insight all to all your friends, your friends, your family, whomever. Like listening to the podcast. Follow us on YouTube at Pour Insight. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. You know, send us your episode recommendations, send us your topics, send us guests that you want us to bring on. We'll try to get it done for you. Follow me at ob.mike56. Also, I do fragrances. You can follow the Fragrance Mentor and the business now. Launched Mullet Perfumes.
We up, baby.
It's Lord.
Big step. Me, just follow me on London_Ogletree on Instagram, but today, focus on following that.
Trey.
Follow me on LaShawn.116, and for sure, y'all go follow our page, man. That Mullet Fragrances make a great impression always.
Tap into your Mullet energy. We'll catch y'all next week. We out.
Feet on the ground with a prove you wrong mindset. I'd rather go out on my sword than have my mind tapped. The ones with eyes can never see, I make the blind clap. I'm bringing back that type of sound that once Divine rap, homie.